Hello everyone, welcome to the YouTube channel mecaniquesportive. This is Nicola. Today I'm introducing the new Kia Sportage in this facelifted version. Yeah, it really changes a lot compared to before. The whole front end has nothing to do with the old Sportage anymore, but we'll see that the interior still has quite a few similarities, even though there's been a lot of restyling. And as for the chassis and so on, it's still the same. For the engine, we keep the familiar 1.6 liter, but it now offers more power and torque, reaching 239 horsepower. I'll give you a full test drive. As usual, we'll go over all the features of the car, I'll give you all the dimensions and so on. And then a full test drive on all types of roads at all speeds. And we'll check the fuel consumption during a full day of testing. Around tours, the Sportage is still a commercial success for Kia, with 7.4 million units sold since the very first one, which came out back in 1983. It was really redesigned about 3 or 4 years ago, and I had presented it to you. By the way, it's one of the videos that performs best on the channel, and I know you love the Sportage. And now it's coming back in a refreshed version, with a new signature, especially the lighting, which we now see on Kia, and which first appeared mainly on the Kia electric vehicle, 9. This big baby is fully electric with a unique signature, and it's now coming to the V6, V3, and V4. I haven't shown you the V4 yet because I was busy with other tests, but I'll try to show it soon. I know this brand means a lot to you, still on the channel, and well, there you go, with a 7-year reliability guarantee, it works well. Anyway, I know you like that, so soon I'll test the V4 for you as soon as I have a little time in my schedule. Today, this Sportage is, as I was saying, in terms of engine, the evolution. We keep the 1.6-liter 4-cylinder, which makes 180 horsepower, to which we add a 65 horsepower electric motor, giving a combined power of 239 horsepower and 381 newton meters. Meters of torque, which is actually pretty good, you know? Let's not kid ourselves. Almost 240 horsepower in a car like this. Back then, 240 horsepower, remember. Those were still considered sports cars, you know? Or 265 horsepower, that was what you had in a BMW Z4 3-liter SI, which was still pretty impressive at the time. Well, in everyday driving, you don't have to use them at 100%, but it's mainly the torque that gives us comfort and driving pleasure. And here, with 380 newton meters, it's starting to make a difference thanks to the electric motor, in addition to the combustion engine. The combustion engine produces 265, and adding the electric motor really brings us that pleasant side for everyday driving. We'll see all that in a bit. 0 to 100, all that, a braking test, a roundabout, etc. We're going to test all of that in this video. In terms of size, it gets 2.5 centimeters longer. So now it's 4 meters 54 long, 1.86 meters wide, and 1.65 meters high, with the roof rails that you can see there. Today we have the panoramic roof, and it will be available in several versions. Before, we had the Motion, which was only available on the gasoline models, really the entry level. And now we find this Motion version on the hybrid models as well. And by the way, you know that before there were several types of engines for us in France. Well, that's over. It's only hybrid now. The plug-in hybrid. People stopped buying because most of the people who bought plug-ins were companies. It was costly, but the tax benefits made it appealing to companies. Things were changing. Companies saw that employees never charged their cars at home, so it used more, but as we've said for years, it's the best format. Still, savings and government policies push you to buy LEDs. Blah, blah, blah. In the end, that's the best version. So, hybrids only, but in 2 versions. 2-wheel drive, as we say today, or 4-wheel drive. So that'll be the only difference, but I think Kia is making a very good choice by doing it this way. Toyota has offered only a hybrid version for a long time, and it works well. Even if Toyota starts producing a pricey plug-in hybrid, a plug-in hybrid here in France, well, it's going down. Plug-in hybrids are going down. Very good initiative from KIA, in my opinion. It starts at 39,550 euros in France. A fully loaded version, all-wheel drive and GT premium like we have today. Today, with the extra tech package, it's 51,000 euros. So that gives you a range from 40 to 55 if you want all options included. Of course, that's negotiable. I hope you're a good negotiator when you buy a car from your dealer. Trim levels start with Motion, followed by Active and GT line. The GT line premium I'm showing you today comes in a new color that was once exclusive to the special edition, which is now available and is called gray. Hold on, I wrote it down somewhere on my sheet over there. Ceramic gray. We'll also have garnet red. The green looked great on the Sportage. Blue, white, and black were standard. Honestly, this gray is nice and a bit different. I thought the green looked great on the Sportage. The red adds color, and the blue is nice too. That's what I like. Thanks, KIA, for adding color to our lives. And it's a nice change from just white and black. As for the weight, it's 1,665 kilos for the two-wheel drive version and 1,733 kilos for the 1,733 kilos for the four-wheel drive version. You can tow up to 1,510 kilos. Those extra 10 kilos are usually just a bonus. The 1,510, great. 52 liters of gas. When I left, it showed me about 800 kilometers of range in the tank. We'll see what the fuel consumption is like with this car. On a bit of road, but mainly country roads today. It won't necessarily be just highway driving. But if you're interested in this car for a very long trip, don't hesitate to let me know. At top speed, 196 kilometers per hour. Yes, it can drive almost anywhere, which is convenient for Germany. Because in Germany, we often drive at 160 on the highway, for example. The two-wheel drive does it in 8 seconds. The four-wheel drive takes 1 second longer due to extra weight. That's it. And what if we took a look around this car? Well, it's been completely restyled, at least on the front end. It's no longer related to the old one. As I mentioned, the hood was lengthened for this tiger nose look, as they call it, with this part that comes back. I admit that it really brings a lot of style, and I think for efficiency and aerodynamics, it must be pretty good. The new KIA logo for a few years now, which makes the car look modern, and this black strip here that stretches from the left headlight all the way to the right one. And these lines here, you can see this big V shape, like this, inverted. I have to admit, it looks stylish. The V9 had many small pixels. Now we have 4 integrated headlights. Big headlight units integrated directly into this front light. It's pretty nice. I like the style, and it makes the car look a bit more modern. It gives it something radically different compared to the others. And having this vertically, it's not unusual. Most cars have it. It's a horizontal block here, and it changes very, very little in the automotive industry. Bravo to KIA for doing this, and I admit I like it. We also have matrix headlights on the higher-end versions, which are still kept on the car. A small part here at the bottom is also LED for the fog lights. The parking assist sensors are well integrated, and there are parts here, for example, in matte and some in glossy black, which are honestly nice. It's very well done. At the same time, it's also muscular. The previous Sportage had more curves, but here they've really sharpened the lines and made it look more masculine. What do you think? The old one or this one in terms of design? I admit the old one had a cool vibe too. We really got used to it. In my opinion, this one is going to revolutionize things a bit, and I think we'll get used to seeing it on the road pretty quickly too. Then there's a really big part here in glossy black. The central part is open from here to here. Then over here, it's closed. A camera right in the center, because yes, we actually have a real combustion engine in the back. It needs to cool down a bit. Next, this part, with a 2-plate holder. And then there are active flaps here that will affect the airflow because depending on whether we need heat or cold, they will open or close. On this side, we have a sound device, probably for pedestrian alerts. And on this side, the driver assistance systems, with the radar for distance for the driving aids. And under this hood, as I was saying, on one side, there's the combustion engine. So with this 4-cylinder, and on the right in orange, all the electric components, we have a 1.49 kilowatt-hour battery. This still lets us use several electric phases. So, as I said, no more plug-in hybrid, but this small buffer battery will work well. On the side, 4 meters 54, as I was saying. So we have the pads here in black. So we keep that from the previous model, the roof bars up there. I think this gray and black actually go together pretty well. We'll find that. And this one almost looks a bit like Nardo gray depending on the lighting. But I think the black and gray go well together. So we're using less and less chrome because chrome involves chemical processes that are increasingly polluting. So we're seeing it less and less. The painted wheel arches, that's not raw plastic. That's actually pretty nice. Thank you, Kia, for finishing it like that. And it really feels like we're dealing with a car that's a bit more premium. Since everything is painted, including the handle and mirrors, even underneath, there's no visible plastic. Some manufacturers use unpainted parts as cost-cutting measures. They say, we'll use raw plastic instead of paint. But look, we have a 360-degree camera package. This is a modern car. Most importantly, at first glance, it's well-finished, stylish, and has a very large rear door. You'll see, we'll mention that again when we're inside. Here's the gas tank, as mentioned, with a capacity of 52 liters. We have new rims. So rims like these, I think it's more and more fashionable to make things more clack, 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 clack. What do you think? I admit that I personally preferred the old ones. It's like with Peugeot. I liked the old ones better. And you? You see this touch of modernity on the rims. What I really like is this little cover here that hides the nuts. It's pretty nice. With 4 disc brakes, of course. Either 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive. And of course, now what's coming? There's a new paddle regeneration mode. I'll demonstrate it in eco mode. When we're inside, 3 possible regeneration modes or a freewheel mode. Well done from Kia on a hybrid. A little 3/4 rear shot under this beautiful light. I still found you a nice spot today. In peace, the little birds, the Vienne River passing by, if I'm not mistaken. And look, 3/4 rear, I like it. And same at the back. You can notice, so new light clusters, that's changed. And same the rear bumper, really different. Here, it's pretty nice. Same, it looks very modern. What do you think? That long strip stretching out there. I like this Sportage. Before, we had the part that split in 2 like this, that spread apart. Now you can see there's something really different. Anyway, I like it. It makes it look more modern. And same at the back, a bit more masculine. It looks a bit like Transformers, with this kind of shape. It suits it well, full rear view. So this line between the 2 clusters really widens it. The Kia logo in this deeply sculpted part, that's really nice. The aerodynamic side, at the same time, it really cuts through the air here. So it's going to be great for airflow. Here we have a big spoiler on top. Yes, same, the line. So it really stretches everything out, you see? So this line here, this line here, this line here, same here. I don't know if you've ever noticed. Wearing clothes with lines like these can make you look bigger. If you're heavy, avoid these lines and choose vertical ones to appear taller. And here the goal with a car is that the wider it looks, the more muscular it seems, the more planted it looks on the ground, the more stable it appears. So that's psychological, but it still works pretty well. The shark fin antenna, headlights we've discussed, the GT line badge on the trim, and the Sportage name here. Camera here, license plate holder, and the thing is, these look like bulbs. But they're not LEDs. I would have liked to have LEDs here. And this, I think, is the reverse light. Since I'm alone, I can't put it in reverse and check, unfortunately, but I think it must be there. And then, here, everything is painted, and the exhausts are well hidden. The exhaust is down there, underneath, so there's no nice exhaust tip. By the way, it starts up because I left it running to keep the lights on for you. So sometimes it restarts for 30 seconds so the battery doesn't run down. At the back, there are parts similar to the front, with matte sections. Especially the matte outline on the glossy area. I think it looks nice. They still put in a bit of effort to add some fun touches to this car. The trunk, I know you guys like trunks. There you go. Of course, since it's a premium GT line version, it opens by itself. Up there, we have the rear shelf here, so it's flexible. We remove it this way. As for the trunk volume, there's no change here. 587 liters of trunk space. So we have the threshold here at the floor level. That's pretty good. A plastic part. We have storage underneath, for example, with the tire repair kit here. Our little yellow vest, everything that goes well with storage in that spot. There we go, I close it. We can fold down the seats directly here and here. By the way, it's been a long time since I folded down the seats for you to get inside and check the available length. Don't move, how will I get in? Like this. So, Nicholas is 1.80 meters tall. If I put my head on the seat, here. My feet are sticking out a bit. Here, I'm sitting a bit sideways. 1.80 meters fits like this. I was tired since we got up early. I could have used a nap. What? You want me to work some more? Fine, all right, because I like you on the channel. By the way, don't hesitate to subscribe. It's always a big plus for me. A little like a comment, all that stuff. It really helps independent YouTubers like me when you subscribe, comment, and like. Your support lets me afford food each month. On this side, there's a speaker here. Not on the other side, so that must be the subwoofer, but on the other side. However, I do have a cigarette lighter socket. There are hooks at the bottom to hold nets. That's pretty good. And a nice white LED right here. And up there, the handle if you want to close it yourself. All right, let's go inside and check out a few little updates. So Nicholas is 6 feet tall. How will it be inside? But first, let's look at the door. At the top, pretty standard plastic, slightly textured. The handles are still just as nice. We've got the window controls with the windows that go all the way down. That's a huge plus. Well done, KIA, for doing that because personally, I love it. We have tinted rear windows for comfort and privacy. Then, there's a bit of leather here. It's a kind of Alcantara here. The Harman Kardon sound system in this premium version. And above all, a large door, which should normally make it easier to get on board. And there we go. Look! Wow! The easy access is a big advantage. The bench seat folds down and can split 40, 20, 40, letting you separate sections. Top tether anchors here and here, so 2 baby seats. When I lift it up, there we go. Look, it's up. You might wonder why. Well, I'm sitting further back. Yeah, because we have several seat adjustments thanks to the little lever right here. So, I don't know if you can see it, but there we go. I'm going to recline it all the way. I'm going to do it on this one. Look, here, I'm really all the way back. And here, all the way forward. So, being like this, well, it's not very, very comfortable. But it can help out if you need to make the trunk bigger. Like this, it's really reclined. And between all that, there are about 10 positions. Well, when you're really all the way back, for a ride share or things like that, where you often carry kids in the back, well, the kids will be happy because they can rest. And the headrest here. The headrest is firm, which is disappointing because when I'm fully reclined, I wish it were softer for better relaxation. On the other hand, what's great is that since it reclines so far back, often your butt slides forward a bit when you're really far back. And look, the length here, Nicholas is 6 feet tall. And when I have my butt all the way back against the seat, my thigh really reaches the end of the seat here. I'm not sure what to call this upper leg area behind the knee, but with my calves here, it gives great support, which is really nice because I'm well supported. And even if I move forward a bit, even then, I still have a large part of my thighs supporting my weight. And that's much more comfortable than having all the pressure on your butt, like in some cars where you're sitting like that. I can immediately tell the weight is better distributed, which is a big advantage. Most manufacturers use small seats due to limited space in the back, but here it's very spacious. So this one doesn't slide, unlike some others, but it's really very generous. You could almost consider it a backrest if you flipped it around. The texture changes. We have a kind of Alcantara here with this mix of faux leather and stitching. The top is white because this is a premium version compared to the basic GT line. And the armrest here in the center with a double cup holder. The armrest is slightly higher than the one on the other side. But here we're really comfortable. We have this as a coat hanger. So imagine you're driving. You can put your jacket here. It will hang here. Here we have a small hook for handbags. We still have 2 USB-C ports in the seat. Adjustable rear air conditioning for temperature and a storage pocket here. The rails are mounted a bit higher, but I can still slide my feet under the seats. That's good. We have the pockets right here. We're comfortable. The third seatbelt, however, I find it a bit unfortunate that it's mounted up there. It's not the most convenient thing every time. Next, let's take a look at this seat here. Well, this one is much firmer. I have the central tunnel, so it's more complicated. The backrest is extremely hard. It's an armrest. So I have to admit, it's definitely less comfortable. And when I'm leaning back a little like this, I still have some space for my head and my knees. Because I have big feet, I hit this part, making my feet look like a ballet dancer's. No, don't picture me in a tutu at all. Get that image out of your head right now. There you go. We're fine. There are LEDs above. Everyone but the driver has handles. It's spacious and generous. Pretty good. The bit of white makes the Sportage feel nice inside. I wish there was more white here to brighten it up. The large panoramic glass roof. Well, it's pretty narrow in the middle. It doesn't go all the way to the sides, but that's because they wanted to keep the handles. And honestly, it does the job well, and I like having my little handles. All right, Let's go see up front what's different because there are a lot of changes there too. Let's go for a little live tour of the car like this before moving to the front seats so you can really get a sense of what it's like in real life, as if you were walking in my place. Here are the small mirrors, the windows, the top, and the rear three-quarters. I love this place. It's beautiful. The SUV is built for trails and off-road use. Now, I'm going to be able to get it dirty. That's the best part. Like this, we can really go full speed. A fridge-style handle with a button on the front is used when you have the keyless key. The mirrors with curved edges on this side only, not the other side. The handles, like in the back. Honestly, I have to say I really like these handles. I find them nice and stylish. The seat memory. I'm going to save it right away because I'll ask it to go back like this afterwards. The window controls here, vehicle locking, mirror, and fold directly. There, I just press the button and both mirrors fold in. And the lock for the rear windows. This part here, leather imitation. Alcantara part, here where it's very soft and cushioned as well. Here, a large compartment where you can put things without them falling and they'll stay there. That's pretty practical. I like to put things here sometimes. Here, this is our Sportage version. Here, the facelifted Sportage hybrid version. You have the price of my model today. There you go. Engine trim 48,500. Design, hop, and the options, 1,200 euros. Ceramic gray with optional 18-inch rims. Otherwise, you get 17 or 18-inch wheels. And then you have the whole list of options here. Basically, these are all the things that are included directly. So, we just have the tech pack with ultra-high definition and level 2 driving, and then all of this is included. 6 speakers, 2 tweeters, etc. Anyway, that's it. You can see it directly on Kia's website. I'll let you check it out. They're Harman Kardon speakers. Here is plastic with standard material along the bottom. This finish is actually nice. Look at the little lines. It's quite pretty. Door sill here with a strip, kind of brushed aluminum. The seat controls. What's nice is that the seats have a lot of adjustments. And even this part here that comes up like this, that's a real plus. All right, I'll remove the little leaves. The bolsters here and the seat back. So the upholstery has evolved, we have a different texture, and also these parts here that come up a bit more than before. It's pretty nice, especially on this premium trim, with this kind of Alcantara that holds you really well. And especially, look, the GT line here, and especially this white part on the top. Otherwise, normally it's all black on the GT line. Standard. I admit the seats are very comfortable and have everything you need. They're also ventilated and heated. Let's go inside. The pedals. I haven't shown you my pedals. My GT line, so metal pedals, plus a big footrest on the side. Here's how you open the hood. There we go. Door light turns off. I'll move back as much as possible to give you the best view. We have a head-up display. I don't know if you can see it there. So, pretty simple. Not too big on the windshield. And the view from here, so there you go. The steering wheel, Kia with the new style, the shifted Kia logo, which is no longer centered now. It's moved a little to the side. And this rather specific steering wheel shape with a sort of flat W and a curve here. It's actually pretty nice to use. And what I really like, again, is this white interior. I really like the bright side with nice light and everything. I find it much nicer than an all-black interior. Feel free to let me know your opinion, whether you're like me or not. Next, on this side, we have the driving aids, the drive modes. Drive mode, evolution. Now we only have eco or sport. Here's the difference it makes. Eco and sport, those will be the only differences. In eco mode, the paddles behind the steering wheel are used for regeneration. For example, if I'm in eco mode, I need to drive. Hold on. Drive, and look, I don't know if you can see, but down here, there's a little thing. I'll try to get closer. Is it working now? Level 3, you can have level 2, level 1, or level 0, which will be freewheeling. We'll test that as we go. This is for voice centering. This is the distance to the vehicle in front of me. Go faster, go slower. This is to scroll through the menus, change the menus we'll have here. For example, in the center to get navigation, to get settings, to get consumption data, information here, speed in kilometers per hour if you want it larger, temperatures, etc., and some consumption figures. We'll do a consumption debrief at the end of this test drive. On this side, it's the favorite button, picking up the phone, radio volume, and the modes here. And the drive modes are here. Eco and Sport. On the left, if you hold this down, you open the trunk, press here to deactivate the SP. This resets the 12-volt battery, and this is the parking brake. I pull like this, and the handbrake is engaged. I press like this while pressing the brake, and I deactivate the parking brake. The steering wheel is adjustable in depth and height using the lever. Then, here are the controls for the lights. I'll switch back to auto mode because I had turned them on just for the presentation. And on this side, it's the windshield wiper. Then, the screen. I already showed you that. On this side, we have the speed information. On this side, the tachometer, the speed. When it's orange, it means I've deactivated the traffic sign recognition, lane centering, or lane keeping. It will appear in green, also for the driving assistance systems. The tank is full. I have 784 kilometers left, and I've already driven about 60 kilometers. Here is the fuel level and the small battery at 1.5 kilowatt hours. The car's brand new, it seems to me. It doesn't have many kilometers, and I think that's since the reset. If I'm not mistaken, hold on. I've driven 63 kilometers, so the car has 86 kilometers. So the car is brand new, really brand new. You see, it just restarted because it's been sitting here for an hour. So now the engine is running at 1100, and if I accelerate, there you go, I'm moving forward. Oh, right, I put it in drive to show you how it works. Oops, parking activated. And now if I accelerate, you can see the engine speed. Next, you can see the evolution now of this screen. This large section where everything is together, like you find on the new models, with the system that remains Kia. If you're used to Kia, you won't be lost. It still looks the same, except it's a little more modern. You can see it almost looks like a television, what you find on a premium television, I think, in terms of infotainment. And again, it looks a bit like a premium television. We're going to have YouTube, entertainment, games, settings, wireless phone with CarPlay or Android Auto, and the phone right here. Voice mode, weather, calendar, sport mode, valet, in-park payment, etc. Basically, most of what's there is useless. We'll just need the settings mode. We'll have the car settings right here. Sorry about the reflections. I can still see fine. It's just the camera reflections. Do you see that? I can barely see it in real life. There are hardly any reflections. And the home button here with the global positioning system. So for example, there, boom, and I know I have to head back that way. I still have 5.6 kilometers before I go eat at noon. And this afternoon, I still have a big walk to do. So there, I keep going like this. The screen here, this part that's been restyled, the little LED, the LED strip that goes across. Everything here is all padded. No, not that one. This one, yes, but not that one. Not this little strip. Here as well, it's padded. We have speakers on top, the head-up display here, speakers here. When you go down, the hazard button is right in the middle. The air vents are over here. On this side, the block we know. So what's cool is that I have either the vehicle's navigation info or the climate control, and actually, we have all of that together. And you can see it changes menus. Actually, it's a screen. I feel like I'm dialing a phone number here. It's the same. It's Matt. I hardly see any reflections. It shows up a lot more on camera. So the driver in E, the climate control here, I have it activated. I can turn on the climate control activated. I have dual zone. You can set dual zone here, plus a zone in the back. Where am I going to get ventilated? Thanks to whoever put this here, it's so convenient, and it's so much better. Finally, for me, it's a necessity, and Kia and Hyundai are some of the only ones who do it. And honestly, thank you, because I think it's really cool. Next, if you switch, for example, music, etc., media setup, you have it there, and it's really convenient. And you saw it's instantaneous. Honestly, there's nothing you can say against it. It's really very fast, and especially the auto here, if you want. The power there, plus click, click, and if you go back like this, you switch to volume. So this becomes the volume when you're in navigation mode. Or otherwise, it's here, temperature and dual zone. I'll cut here. To turn it off, just click here, and the air conditioning will shut off. You needed to find that since you could have gone to 0, but instead, just click here. Here's a tip from mecaniquesportive, since many people will be searching for it. Next, here we open the wireless charger plus 2 USB-C ports, just for charging, either to charge or when I press. It switches to connectivity plus charging. That's really cool. Thanks to KIA for that. For example, with Apple CarPlay and a wireless connector, if you choose charging only, it won't offer connectivity to someone who connects. Next, to start the car, it's here. This is the gear shift. So, foot on the brake. Drive, it lights up here. Reverse is in red here, and look at the cameras. The cameras are really high quality. My right side mirror also tilted down when I did that. And since it's a modern car, look at the little 360-degree drone view from the outside. And that's pretty cool. Okay, nice quality, nice definition. We have everything we need. Thank you, Kia. Next, to switch back to parking, I press the center button here again. And when you open the door, the parking brake will engage automatically. Well, the parking brake, you know. Here, heated seat for me, ventilated seat for me, heated and ventilated seat for the passenger, heated steering wheel with 2 settings here, double cup holder. And since we're with Kia, we always have this little trick here to widen the cup holder space, which lets you put this bottle like this. And if I want to put 2 bottles, that's actually pretty cool. I have to admit, that's the little thing I really like. The key looks like this, so we're familiar with it at Kia. It's pretty nice. In matte, I honestly find it pleasant. And to the touch, it's the same. It's soft. It's very light, and it's soft. Small keychain, all that. Try to negotiate one if you buy a Kia. Ask them, say Nico, the sports mechanic. He said, yeah, you can give us a little keychain. That would make us happy. We just bought a Kia Sportage from you. Honestly, it's nice. This one is nice. This one's cool too, but I prefer the little leather one. There's also storage here. Next, the armrest. Unfortunately, it doesn't move forward. I would have liked it to go up to here. That would have been nice. But inside, there's a card, since you can have connectivity and the digital card with your phone that unlocks the car and the cigarette lighter socket. Here, there's no storage for cards or anything like that. And here are the seats. I showed you the headrest. I showed you the coat hanger, the large glass roof on this side up there. We have touch lighting here with LEDs. If I want to turn everything on, I press here, and it turns both lights on fully. The SOS button and the curtain, plus the roof opening. And look at the roof. Finally, the front part of the device is really huge. And when it opens, it's the same. It's still pretty big. I almost wish it were bigger because, look, you see the panel is really huge. And you can either just leave it open at the back. I'll do that, actually, so I can get a bit of air. Another really cool thing is the size of this mirror. I think it's the biggest one I've seen in a recent car. It's just gigantic and really cool. The card holder and the light, you turn it on yourself. That way you can turn it on if you want or not. If I close it, does it stay on? Oh, but they're smart. Look, if I leave it on. Oh, I forgot. There, it snaps shut and resets the button. Bravo, I love it. There are engineers who are really useful. Because honestly, sometimes I wonder why some of them even do their job. Frameless, small electrochromic mirror here. Very nice. Overall, we're good. What about the glove box? Pretty spacious. The big maintenance logbook. And there you go. And there you go. All right, let's go. We're leaving this clean setting and heading, I don't know where. I'll keep them in suspense, but I like this car so far. All right, let's go aboard this new Sportage with this new engine. I look forward to sharing fuel consumption figures and seeing the results. We're starting off with 71.2 kilometers for now. So, we're at Saint-Pierre-de-Corps station, and we're about to leave. So, as soon as I release the brake pedal, the car moves forward. So, we have what's called creep. Nice KIA E9 here. So here we have this new color for the car. It's over there. So you can feel that this is a pretty imposing SUV. When you're inside, it really feels like you're in a big, solid car. There we go. There, the suspension seems pretty comfortable so far. So the chassis itself doesn't change with this facelift. Still, the facelift was pretty extensive. Oh, beautiful 911. Ah, another 911. Well, look at that. Impressive in Saint-Pierre-de-Corps. So inside you can see, well, I don't know if you can see, but it has very, very subtle ambient lighting here. Here as well. A little bit in, no, that's me who put some papers there. Well, just a little lighting, let's say. So here, I'm in electrical. Anyway, when it goes downhill or anything like that, or at low speed, since it's a hybrid, most of the time we'll be in electric mode. It's pretty nice. The engine starts. It's a 1.6-liter four-cylinder, which is definitely cooler. It runs smoother, quieter, and with less vibration. Also, we're more familiar with the four-cylinder engine, while the new generations will be much more familiar with the three-cylinder. Too bad for you, that's just unlucky. The four-cylinder is still much more pleasant, running better and more efficiently. In short, I prefer the four-cylinder in motorcycles, cars, or anything else, especially since we're always downsizing. Fewer cylinders mean fewer parts, lowering manufacturing costs. I'm turning on auto hold so the car stays still when I let go of the brake. Kia still has the blind spot display that shows up on my dashboard. That's always a real advantage. The steering wheel feels nice. As for the suspension, you can feel there's still some firmness, and that the car's supposed to handle well. We'll test that dynamically in a bit. We're probably gonna have some pretty nice little roads. Eco mode also has new features, so when we change modes with the paddles, we'll be able to control the level of regeneration. That can be a nice bonus. Where do we change the modes again? Drive mode here. I'll test it now. Okay, anyway, we only have two modes. We have Eco or Sport. So, in a way, that's not so bad because I think the standard mode isn't very useful. So, now I'm in Eco mode. There's still a good response. I think there's a lot of response, even for an Eco mode. And so, if I play with my paddles, I have level 3, level 2, level 1, or level 0. Level 0 is freewheel. I really like that torque. Level 1 is light regeneration. I accelerate again. Level 2 is stronger. Level 3 is much stronger. So let's see. Does it go all the way to a stop? No, it doesn't go all the way to a stop. It's not a one pedal. It's just regeneration, like a B mode. So we don't have the B mode anymore, like some cars. Directly here at the selector, it provides regeneration, which some people like. Here, for example, it slows down, and I just brake at the end. That, for example, on small roads where it's a bit winding or something like that. By anticipating a little, it can be quite convenient. I admit that in certain situations I like it. For everyday use, I admit I like to coast, just accelerate and let it roll. And having talked with engineers, coasting is what uses the least energy. So they told me that with some cars you could get almost up to 5%, but otherwise, in terms of the difference in consumption between strong regeneration and coasting was better, which was between 3 and 5%. Better in terms of consumption. The advantage goes to coasting, but regeneration can be a plus. For example, in cities with downhill areas or frequent elevation changes, it can be useful to have coasting or regenerative braking, but I have to admit I prefer coasting. So I'm going to have to... I forgot to ask how to disable that. Did they program it for me? No, settings. No, they didn't. How are we going to disable that? We'll have to go into the menus. I think we can just set it as a shortcut. It's beeping because I'm just over 50 kilometers per hour, and it helps them with driving. Those are required. The overspeed alert is very annoying. The beep that just changed, it's really annoying, clearly. Actually, the lawmaker's there. There you go, because it just changed again. Did you see it made a... The thing changes all the time. Clearly, it's not a life. I'll need to figure out how to disable all that. It just changed the speed again. We can't live like this in France. It's impossible. We're here for the city. It's changing things again. He says 50 since we're entering the city, but there was a 30 sign. Honestly, that's impossible to handle. I'm saying this for all cars. So in terms of soundproofing, we're pretty good. We have single pane windows, so it's not laminated double glazing. We're in the GT line premium. There we go, some sunlight appeared. There's a huge mirror here, that's always nice. I usually restart in electric mode. The soundproofing is decent for single glazing, and for the city like this, it's pretty nice. Same thing. I need to change the consumption settings again since they're set to kilometers per liter. For now, I'm at 9.4 kilometers per liter. Can you manage to convert that to liters per 100 kilometers? I'm counting on the best mathematicians among you. All right, here we go. It accelerates. Wow, even in eco mode, it accelerates well. I find it pretty enjoyable. We've got torque, we've got power. In short, everything you need for a daily car. All right, we're out of the city now. So, I think we're going to take a country road. When you accelerate again, I'm driving on a smooth, well-soundproofed road with barely any road noise. We mostly stay in electric mode. Now it's slowing as we near the interchange. The engine comes out of standby. Here, for example, for a brief moment, it needed to kick in, then it shut off again. Now it knows we're slowing down, and there you go, it's slowing down. The car doesn't lean too much when you turn, so you can tell we have a pretty nice suspension, and even if I do this, it stays responsive without sagging too much, like a really good suspension. That's also Kia's tuning, unlike Hyundai, because it's the same platform as the Tucson. Let's not forget, with Hyundai, it's much softer for a more relaxed driving experience. All right, here we go. I'm accelerating again. Honestly, going up to 90. Perfect, I'm at 90. The big advantage is that we still have quite a bit of power. It picks up really well. It's nice. There we go. It doesn't hesitate to drop a gear pretty quickly to make sure it can pick up again. 90. I want my driving assists. It's good. It detected the lines, detective. It's good. We're in. So now I have my level 2 driving. So that's part of the tech pack where the car has lane centering, adaptive cruise control basically. That's pretty nice when you have a lot of driving to do, long trips, and so on. I'll test if we have the capacitive steering wheel. So here, there's a car merging in front. It slows down automatically. Keep your hands on the steering wheel. Yeah, we have the capacitive one. So that means it detects when we have our hand on it, which is actually pretty different. I like that there's a long section at the bottom so you can rest your hand and it usually stays in place. The tattoo display shows the blind spot warning. That's pretty cool. Even at 90, it's still pretty good, I think. It's still soundproofed. It's a nice car, the Sportage. I've always liked it. I think it's one of the really cool cars, the Sportage and the Tucson. For me, they were the two best SUVs. And especially since they were redesigned about 3 or 4 years ago, I thought they were the two best SUVs. And in terms of value for money, performance, reliability, technology, they've got everything. Even the looks and so on. I thought they were honestly the two best compromises. And so they're shared because it's a bit like Stellantis. It's the Hyundai Kia group, the Sportage. I've always found it to have a slightly more dynamic side, more fun for someone who likes to drive, and the Tucson is a bit more laid back. All right, let's go. It's 110 here, so we can drive faster. I don't think we'll have a highway today. We're at 110 now. I'll set it to 110, same for my driving assists. So at 110 kilometers per hour. Do we have a lane change assistant? No, it's still up to us to do it. So, at 110, I'm at 2,200 revolutions per minute in 6th gear. I can barely hear the engine, at a steady speed like this. So, I know there's a little something spinning up front, but it's still very well filtered. The wind noise is actually pretty reasonable. It's not bad. This version features a Harman Kardon sound system. We played some music, and the sound is quite pleasant. It's responsive, and I like it. The driving aids aren't too intrusive. For example, when I use the turn signal and want to turn, it doesn't hold the steering wheel or give me any big jolts or anything like that. The driving aids quickly detect lane lines, like here. There you go, it's working. The driving aids perform well. And the seats provide really good support. It's good. Honestly, the Sportage is a good choice, and I think you won't be disappointed with it. It's simple, efficient, has everything you need and real buttons. There's a screen here, but it's easy and always accessible. Not bad. What do you think of the Sportage? When I reach 130 km/h, I accelerate again. Honestly, it picks up well, even when you press lightly on the accelerator without forcing too much. And now I'm at 130. So at 130, You hear more road noise. We just switched to older asphalt. You can immediately hear the difference. I'm at 2,600 revolutions per minute. It's still decent, even going slightly uphill. The engine stays quiet with no vibrations. Yeah, a good car makes you want to drive. This one impresses me even more. I want to take it on small roads because it handles so well. Can't wait to check it out. Kia also has something unique. Here, I still have steering assistance and lane centering, even after turning off adaptive cruise control. Here, for example, I'm braking and accelerating, but the steering assistance remains. We're in a beautiful region. Here, we're leaving Azay-le-Rideau. They didn't take us by the castle, but there are other castles as we pass through Chinon and more. It's still quite pleasant. As a part of France, I really like it. I grew up in Salone, and I thought it was really cool. And now, let's switch to sport mode to do a quick 0 to 100 acceleration. Here. All right, here we go. Woohoo! Oh, it works really well. And 90 here, because it's a road limited to 90. It works well. Honestly, you don't say to yourself. Well, there's the word sport in Sportage. And honestly, in terms of power, it does pack a bit of a punch, you know. Unlike old family cars with just 90, 110, or 130 horsepower at best, this is different. And clearly, with electric and all the technologies that have come out now, it drives well, it handles well, it really goes. And regarding consumption, I converted it to liters per 100. We're at 5.9 liters now, which is still good. We're doing a lot of 110 and some 130. It's not unreasonable. You know I test in all conditions. So a little bit of road with some slightly rough gravel and all that. The car remains comfortable. It's been pleasant so far. I'm at 63 kilometers, driving through small countryside areas. And the average has dropped to 5 liters per 100, which is pretty good when driving between 80 and 90. I don't really know where to go. Normally, there isn't supposed to be many people around here. The only thing is, we can't go back after. It looks pretty nice over there. I'll probably stop here to introduce this car to you. It's really, really nice around here, by the way. All right, this is where I'll present the car. I've decided. So, the intro you saw, it'll be here. For those who figured out how I got here, great. So we're starting again from the area where I did the presentation for you, and here it's oh, there are big holes. Oh, big holes. Oh, I love this. Okay. It's still pretty comfortable. It's not too bad. It absorbs well. So here, we're on a path. It's pretty rough here. Oh, I like that. Oh yeah, that's great. Honestly, it does its job as an SUV. It's called an SUV, so for me, an SUV is supposed to handle paths like this. Of course, you don't have to drive this fast, but even driving fast like this... Oh, a pheasant. Oh, 2 pheasants. We shouldn't run them over. Even on rough terrain there, it's pretty good. So what you need to know is that there's also the 4-wheel drive version, where actually it might like that a little more. The car only has 86 kilometers, so let's avoid scratching it on branches. Here we go, and we're off again. The car really has 86 kilometers on it, so when they gave it to us, it had 10 kilometers. Perfect. Brand new car. Honestly, it's great. Hop, hop, I could have gone out that way. We're going to test the hill start, so right here, even on a gravel path, hill start, it grips well, it gets going again easily, it's got torque right from the start. All right, let's go this way. There's no one here. Perfect. Okay, let's get back on the road. I think I don't have much farther to go from here. It's exactly noon, so it's time to eat. Then we'll continue this afternoon with a nice ride. So, about the consumption. First, I'm going to turn off sport mode and switch back to eco mode. Now, I'm back up to 5.5 liters because the car was running and so on. I had left the air conditioning on a bit, things like that, and it's like being stuck in traffic jams and all that. It represents a bit more of real-world use, not just driving on small roads at 80 or 90. That allowed me to see what the consumption would be like. How do you recenter the global positioning system here? Come back and center yourself. There, a slight turn. 5 liters over 65 kilometers is still pretty good considering we only did mixed driving. And did you see that afterwards when we went back down to country roads like this? Between 80 and 90, we were around 5 liters. I've already driven in the city, on national and departmental roads, and a bit at 130. So honestly, I think you can easily be under 5 liters per 100. I'll ask my colleagues to see what they got. In my opinion, even by tonight, after a few hours of driving this afternoon, we're going to bring it down quite a bit, I think. Oh, well, it wasn't here. I have 30 more kilometers to go. They were supposed to wait for me here to tell me, but they all left me, and it's 30 kilometers away. I run all my tests to accurately compare the cars. There's also a small detail nobody mentions. For example, it told me to let go and just coast. Sometimes it suggests it to me to reach the right speed in 2 places. Well, there you go. It's a small thing. But actually, speaking of coasting and letting go, the feeling, the sensation of the pedal, the tension of the accelerator pedal's return spring is perfectly balanced, which allows me not to have to hold it. My toe is always like this. You press a bit too hard or relax your foot and the pedal goes down. Here, the spring is so well made that it allows me to release the tension I have at the front of my little angle there that holds my foot. And I think that's really great. And there are too few cars that do it well, or where there's an accelerator that's way too soft, where you just don't have that force and that feeling on the accelerator pedal. Kudos to KIA for that, as it's often overlooked but really matters on long drives. Also, no one mentions when the air conditioning is set to 0 ventilation. When I'm stopped, there's no air coming through, but when I accelerate, like in an old car, it's open and the air comes out. Come on, kids, 0 to 100, let's go. 30, 40, 50, 55, 70, 80, 90, and 100. It works well. It's true that I also had that open up there. I had left it open for a while. And honestly, I barely hear the wind, even when driving at 90. On the other hand, I have air coming out of the vents, which is pretty nice. And if I close it like this, I've closed everything. At least I still have air coming through here. And honestly, I have to admit that's pretty cool. With the roof closed, it changes things slightly and improves soundproofing. Yeah, I like it. They do things I like. You see, in my old car, I liked it when I set the ventilation to closed, opened the windows, for example, in the city, then I closed them. And at high speed, there was still air coming through. Well, I think it's cool that it still exists because that's become really rare. And there we go. We're off again. We ate well. Honestly, it was great. Nice little restaurant here. Can't recall the name. Something Lille Bouchard. Great spot by the water. Perfect. So now we're off again. I'm heading out for 51 kilometers, a little over an hour of driving. Well, they didn't put us on the highway or anything, so it's just going to be small roads. So yeah, we're going to use it like a daily routine, as if we lived in the countryside. And that's it. So now heading back over there. And I'll give you a debrief when I get there. See you soon. All right, so the conclusion about this Kia Sportage. You can see that it really has been restyled in terms of looks. On the outside, it has definitely evolved. But on the inside, in terms of driving, it's really similar to what we had before. It's a solid car, pleasant to drive, with good acceleration and a fairly dynamic chassis that still remains comfortable. You could almost say it's like a German car. When it comes to the chassis, there's comfort, stability, and everything you need. In short, it's still a very, very good compromise. We have all the driving aids, everything you need, and a redesigned look that makes the car more modern with this new lighting signature from Kia, which stands out and is truly unique in the automotive landscape. And it's nice to have some change, and I think it's pretty cool. What do you think about the fuel consumption? Hold on. I'm going back to the car because I forgot to write them down earlier. Look, I'll do it for you on the phone, live, like this. Hop, I turn the car around, I restart the car. So the fuel consumption for this test is 5.5 liters over 159 kilometers, as you can see right there without cheating, the car at 180 kilometers. So it's brand new, so I can't lie to you. So 5.5 liters on a mix like this. With some minor accelerations and tests, this car is still decent, especially since it's a large vehicle. Look at the size of the machine, so that's it for daily use. It's a pleasant car, the hybrid works really well, the transitions are smooth, and the fact that we have a pretty cool 4-cylinder, it's a 1.6-liter engine. It has power, pickup, a spacious back, and a big trunk. Everything you want in this type of car. So I still like it with this style that's new and different. And there you go. Good car. And do you like it? Look, there's Caradiziac with Olivier Pagès, also finishing up with their car. So, did you enjoy this video? If yes, give it a thumbs up like this and don't hesitate to subscribe. See you soon in another video. Ciao.